Alright, hey guys, it's the Nerd One, and today we're going to be I'm going to be showing you guys my gas mask collection, and some of my gas masks aren't here because I must have placed them somewhere, like my GP5. I can't find that anywhere, and well, it appears only my GP5 is missing out of my collection, but unless you guys don't know what a GP5 is, you could go check out the channel. I do a testing. I believe I did a testing and a review in the earlier videos. And earlier video this year, and then like one of my first videos of the channel, I did a review on the GP5. But we're gonna get started. I have a notebook here. I've been doing research on the masks. Well, two of them because my hand started hurting. But most of the masks except the two, I could tell you. I mean, this one I can't tell much about it besides it's an M10M and it's Czech, but we'll get to it at some point. I will probably pause the video if I need to do research on something really fast, and then we'll get into it. But first one we're going to talk about is the PMK1. This is a Croatian model of it, but this is the PMK1. It is based off the Soviet PMK1, and we'll start off by saying this was the successor of the GP7, which is in this bag right here that we'll get to. Should have done that one first, but the GP7 was the first prototype of the PMK style of gas mask, and it started production in the late 70s. Not this one. This came after the PMK, not GP7, but the PMK1 represented a break in the helmet style design of this style of gas mask that the Soviets favored, and in fact some of the time during the Tsar time, the very first Russian gas mask being a hood type. If I had my GP5, I'd be able to show you, but we'll just use the PBF as an example. This is the helmet hood style of gas mask. It doesn't have straps like most of these do, and you would just put this over your head. I'm going to put it on, not going to breathe through it because most likely this has asbestos in it, like the rest of these Soviet filters. But watch how like the straps, there's no straps on this. I just like this. I'm going to take that off so I could breathe, but that's the helmet design that is referenced here, and I will actually put a picture of the World War I Russian helmet that had the helmet design, the very first Russian helmet during the Tsar time in the Russian Empire before the Soviets took over. But the PMK1 used the same 40mm style of filter, which is a very common filter used by the Russians and basically anyone who has these style of filters these days, which are slowly being like taken out with just, the filters you just screw on the side that aren't really like a canister like this anymore. But they use the same filter as other masks, which means probably has asbestos in it, and just don't breathe a mask from the Soviet Union or any like Eastern Bloc countries because most likely it will have asbestos in it. And the PMK was replaced by the PMK2, but in 1986. I do not have a PMK2. I'm trying my hardest to get my hands on one. But due to the lack of PMK2s, 3s, and 4s, the PMK1, this one right here, and the 2 are still frequently used in the Russian army. And yeah, I know I did a review on this one. Has just voice diaphragm right here, drinking tube. And it's just, like any other gas mask. And while we'll go through these, I'll just start putting them away in the container over here. The next one we will talk about is the PBF gas mask, the one that I was just showing you. The PBF gas mask was intended to be a lightweight gas mask, which it is very much lightweight without the big canister filters. And the gas mask and like I said, it did not have any of these heavy metal canisters or hoses. Instead, the PBF had the E019E cheek filters, which I'm not going to take these out, but I will put a picture in the video, and you'll probably be seeing it now. But And where was I? The filters of this were nicknamed the pork chop filters, as you see in the picture. And it would be mounted on each side of the gas mask, here and here. You can actually see the intake valves on each side. And it was similar to the M17, but we don't have M17, but we have the Eastern Czech knockoff of the M17 gas mask. And yeah, that too has cheek filters. And this one right here, I'll tell you later, but this one makes me hate cheek filters because it's just such a pain in the ass to put the filters in. This one wasn't too hard, but that one definitely was. But the PBF gas mask was designed for people in the Russian army who needed to use optics, such as binocular, scope, etc. And that was due to the flat style of lenses here, unlike being on the sides like most of the other gas masks here. These were front-facing lenses, so you could put binoculars and scopes and stuff on up easily. From research, it is said that the PBF gas mask filters could last up to 24 hours depending on the levels of decontamination. The PBF gas mask saw usage from 1973 to the 1990s. The PBF was nicknamed the monkey, gorilla, and hamster mask from the Soviet troops. But some features about the PBF, and I did do a review on this again in my earlier videos, but it has the voice diaphragm and exhale valve, intake valves. Let's see if you could get a good view inside of it. But that's what it looks like. It has a nasal cup, and this one was actually made in 1982. It says the date right here. And like all Soviet filters, probably don't want to breathe through this one. There hasn't been any studies about it, like the GP5 and all the other Soviet filters, but don't risk it. Don't breathe through these. But we'll put that in the box, and the next one we'll go over is we'll go over the GP7 because I know a bit about the GP7. This was the first prototype of the PMK style that we talked about earlier. This is one of my favorite gas masks because it's just look at it. But this was used from, let's take a look, see. It was the first prototype in the 1970s, and then when the PMK-1 showed up, they basically just took this mask and started dispersing it to the civilian usage. So this wasn't a military mask, this was for civilians. Even though how militaristic it looks, I didn't know it was civilian use until I learned about it. But it's very simple design. I did a test of this one too, and it's voice diaphragm, exhale valves right here, very similar to the PMK-1, and you have the side filter here, again, asbestos filter, don't use it, and that's just a very simple gas mask design. Inside's nothing special, doesn't have a nasal cup or anything, but yeah, that's the GP7 right here. We'll put that in the box here. Next one, I guess we'll talk about, this one I'm not going to give much history about it, but it was made by the Czechs during, Soviet time, Eastern Bloc and stuff like that. But this was basically Czech rip-off of the American S-10 gas mask, which was the gas mask the U.S. Army used from 1958 to 1998, and it's very similar to that mask. If you were to see a picture of the S-10, I think that's I don't remember what I said, but very, very similar design as you would see here, and has nasal cup inside so you don't fog up the lenses, filters on both sides, voice diaphragm, exhale valve, and nothing much to say about that. And we actually have to start speeding it up because I am running out of time on the video, so I might not give much history to some of these masks as they deserve, but I do history like that one, this one, and so if you want to check out those videos, you could go to the channel. But next one we'll talk about is this Polish gas mask. It might also be Czech. I think Czechs has a copy of this. This one's from 1988. Again, don't use filters, asbestos, but very simple design. I'm not going to go into the history of it because one, I don't know the history, and two, I'm running out of time. And as I'm talking, there's like dirt and dust and stuff just falling off of this, but it's a very simple gas mask. You have the filter, the intake valve, the exhale valve, and inside the mask, it's seriously not special. Like, I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's just one hole for exhale. The intake valves go up and blow into your eyes through the little pipes you'll see in it, but that's the Polish mask. I don't even know the model of it. I'm just like that bad at this stuff. But next one we'll talk about is the Belgium, what was it called? I think it has the name on the back. M51. These were used, you guessed it, from 1951. The French actually used this, and if you see the history of the French gas mask video I made, which is kind of like a joking video, but I am very much serious. This was used by the French army since they adopted it sometime in the 50s up to, Desert Storm in the 90s and stuff like that. Same filters and stuff. They didn't have modern 40 millimeter filters. They were running the asbestos filters from like the 1950s and 40s. But this one's very similar to the Polish one as well. You have intake valve, exhale valve, and a very boring inside like the Polish one that we just looked at. So you see there, just a simple hole. The intake valve comes up this little tube on each side, and your fresh air will go and get blasted into your eyes. Oh, that fell. The next gas mask we'll go over is this Hungarian. I want to say M67. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but it's been a while since I looked this up. This is one of my favorite gas masks. When I started collecting World War I equipment, before I had this beautiful masterpiece right here, I used this as my World War I German uniform because it just looks so similar to the World War I German gas mask. In fact, in several movies, they will use this gas mask for their World War I German impression. But it too has a asbestos filter, the same the original one came with. It came with the one that the GP7 was wearing, but it has asbestos filters like every other Eastern Bloc style country. The exhale valve is right here, right underneath it, and it's also just basic looking inside of a mask. But one of my favorite gas masks I own. Not my favorite, that will be the last one I show you. And we'll just put that in the box. Hopefully that didn't fall out and asbestos doesn't get launched into the air. Next one I'll talk about is the M96 Finnish gas mask. This actually is the new one. Like, they are still using this in the Finnish military. And I really like this mask. It was one of my first modern day gas masks I ever bought. But you have the filter coming in from the side. You have a nasal cup that you can't really see very well. And I really like this mask because, for not having a voice diaphragm, you could hear me very well talking through it. But yeah, exit valve, little drinking tube area right here so you can drink out of it. Filter, big lenses so you have better vision and stuff. But this mask replaced the Finnish M67 gas mask, which was used for a very long time, but that's the Finnish 96. I'm going to set this on the ground because I'm running out of room. Next one we'll show is it is Russian, but I call it the Ukrainian children's gas mask because, like I'm assuming, like me, when you see this mask, you think of Pripyat, Chernobyl, and that room filled with these just laid around the ground. But this was given to the children of Ukraine and Pripyat and stuff like that, along with gas masks, so they could be safe during the nuclear fallout after the reactor at Chernobyl exploded. But this is a children's gas mask used by the Soviet Union for a while. This one was made in 1985, so once I get a Geiger counter, I'm going to have to be testing these and showing you guys the results. But This is the children's Soviet gas mask. It has just simple design in there, like nothing special. It's a very creepy gas mask, and yeah. So we'll put that aside. I have like a minute left before I run out of time. But this is the French ARFA gas mask. This replaced the Belgian gas mask I showed you earlier. And voice diaphragm, exit valve, drinking tube. Inside the mask is just that filter here. And I did a review on this, so go check that out. And the next mask is a replica. It's the World War I M8 1918 German gas mask. My favorite gas mask, and I'm about to run out of time, but that's it. So I'll show you my favorite gas mask in the near future. Make sure to like and subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss another video, and have a good day. I'll just let it run out before I run out of time. Oh no, it's still going. What the heck? Okay, well I guess I'll just keep going until it cuts off, but German gas mask, very simple design, and it's not a 40mm filter, unlike the other ones. This was before that, and we'll set this on the ground. And it will be the grand finale with my favorite gas mask. It's not in the original bag because it didn't come with the original bag, but I put it in a American bag that looks very similar to it. But this is my favorite gas mask I own, and it's the Finnish M67 gas mask. Like, look at that big nose. I love it. But the filter, I don't know if it's dangerous or not. I'll never wear it because, you know, don't want to risk it. It was made, this filter was made 1987. I wonder if there's markings on the mask. And there is, oh wait, maybe. Oh, 1999, but this was Finnish mask, and one of my favorites. I just love the nose and stuff, but just beautiful mask, really love it. And you can see on this side the Finnish castle here. There's a voice diaphragm, exit valve. This is what the inside looks like. And my absolute favorite mask. Like, this is favorite mask in my collection. It has a huge 60mm filter, which is not the most common filters that you'll find in gas masks. Most of them will be 40mm, but that is the not GP7, why did I say this? The Finnish model 1967 gas mask. And that will be the video for real now. I thought I was going to shut it off earlier, but I guess that'll be it. So make sure to like and subscribe, comment down below if you have any like facts or tips or just like to correct me about stuff, because I know I rushed through this because I thought I was going to run out of time at the 16-minute mark. But so just like correct me, teach me in the comments if I did anything wrong. I want people to correct me and give me feedback. But that's the entirety of my, well, somewhat entirety of my collection minus the GP5, which everyone has the GP5 if you're into gas masks. That was my first gas mask I ever collected. Probably gonna be the one that kills me because I didn't know it had asbestos in it until a year after wearing it nonstop for days. But yeah, so that's the gas mask review. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below, just anything. But yeah, so that will be the video. I will stop the video now if I could reach the camera, and yeah.